Hello everyone, and welcome to Jurassic Park. Well, more correctly, this is Cheyenne Mountain Park. So, we're gonna get started, and we're gonna kind of create our entrance plaza. This is my first time playing Jurassic World Evolution 2, besides a few of the campaign missions. So, I'm just kind of, starting to work on this entrance plaza. And we're gonna talk a little bit about the game, because there's a few things I feel like kind of deserve talking about. Seeing as this is new to me, you're gonna see me struggle a little bit, but I kind of wanted to talk about kind of the future of this series and kind of what's happening. So if you've been watching my live streams, you know I played this, and then I played Prehistoric Kingdom. You're gonna see that so it's a 20-minute time lapse, but it's about half the speed that I would normally do in a time lapse for Planet Zoo, just because it took me not nearly as much time to gosh, my brain, to kind of finish the recording for this. It was really quick to build habitats, but that kind of comes with its own negatives as well, I'll say. And that being, well, there's not much you can do in terms of decoration, honestly. You can do a good bit of decoration for, like, plazas like this, but I've kind of found that actual decorations are kind of lacking in this game. So I will do this series, where we're set in Wyoming, is kind of the idea. So it's kind of like the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo, but the Cheyenne Paleo Park is the name of our park. So we're going to just kind of create these, kind of rustic is kind of the idea, but also somewhat modern as well, because, I mean, we are cloning dinosaurs. Here I am kind of just trying to figure out which versions of these to use. So this is kind of the max customization that's in the game, which to me, it's not that much. There's a lot better things that I'd like to figure out, but I kind of figure out some of the colors, and we're definitely going to see some Prehistoric Kingdom as well on the channel, for sure. Probably more of that, but, well, we'll probably keep this regular, but I've already finished a large part of my Hells Creek Formation section of the park, which that's what we're starting here, and we're starting with one of my favorite dinosaurs. And then we're just going to make this a steak place because of, I don't know, it felt like a good thing to have for dinosaurs. Just kind of felt right for a rustic kind of park to have a steakhouse. And then we kind of do this hotel, and unfortunately these don't seem to have much in terms of customization. So, we're going to start decorating. And I was really hoping for a really big centerpiece, but I kind of gave up on that pretty quickly. Man, wouldn't it be nice to have a scaling feature? I'm trying not to complain about this game too much. I don't think it's a bad game, but there's definitely better park simulation games. So I definitely had a bit of a struggle decorating this to make it look good, because there's not much you can do in the game, but we will finish this park. I can't promise that we're going to have another park after this, because honestly I feel like the game, like, it's cool, but I feel like it's kind of limited to, like, there's only so many ways I can do this. Whereas with Prehistoric Kingdom or Planet Zoo, I always feel like I have 10 ideas in the banks, and I'm easily able to figure out another zoo idea or another paleo park, whatever. So nothing about this is bad necessarily. It's just, to me, it's a little flat. But yeah, we're gonna start. This is sandbox So I do get to have my start in playing like a sandbox mode instead of just all going franchise. It is a lot nicer to do sandbox. I do miss a little bit of like the finance management sometimes, but it is nice to be able to build enclosures that I think look good and not necessarily what the animal wants, what especially the Jurassic World franchise says that animals want, because sometimes I disagree. Like it might say, oh, this animal lives in the forest. And I'm like, well, based off my research, it does not. But so we're kind of working on this entrance plaza still. I'm pretty proud of how this entrance plaza worked out, and that's going to be the most of what we're building today. We'll build one habitat for sure for one of my favorite dinosaurs. Not my absolute favorite, maybe. It's kind of hard to pin down my absolute favorite, but we'll get into that and kind of show what kind of exhibit it is. You'll probably guess from the thumbnail, but you know, we'll have two animals going in here. Here I was trying to figure out, I wanted to get this idea of like a walkway through to the center. You kind of see it a lot in city streets where you'll have trees just kind of lining down a path. So I wanted to kind of do that. I mean, these planters worked well, but there's only so much you can do with them. So I'm just kind of placing them in, filling this in, trying to make everything somewhat symmetrical. And you can tell that my Planet Zoo is showing, and franchise mode is showing. I've got everything on pause, and it doesn't look as good in this game to have everything on pause. I tried to experiment with this curved wall because I think it looks cool. I just don't think that it actually has that big of a use case. My biggest frustration with this game is not being able to stack things on top of each other whatsoever. And that's a real big frustration for me, because, you know, with rock formations especially, I feel like I'm just not able to create as beautiful a formation as I might be able to in Planet Zoo or Prehistoric Kingdom, because rocks can't clip with each other, and so you're really limited to what you're doing. But we've already got a lot of habitats in our Hell's Creek formation from the live stream. I might as well go ahead and tell you a little bit about Hell's Creek formation if you did not know. Hell's Creek formation is a river formation in Wyoming, Montana, and I think North Dakota. I could be incorrect there. I'm not a dinosaur expert necessarily. I do enjoy dinosaurs, but not an expert. But Hell's Creek is one of the most famous kind of fossil formations that is not called Hell's Creek. It's called Hell Creek, but I keep wanting to call it Hell's Creek. It's home to species such as Triceratops, Edmontosaurus, Tyrannosaurus Rex, Dakotaraptor, Pachycephalosaurus, Stygomolic, I said Triceratops, Torvosaurus, no, not Torvo, Torosaurus, and what other dinosaurs? Archaeornithomimus, not Archaeornithomimus, Ornithomimus, and I'm trying to think of what's the one in game. Well, you'll just have to figure it out when we get there. Also had some pterosaur species, but Pteranodon lived in the area, but no bones have been found in Hell Creek from Pteranodon, but they're close enough. Oh, and some forms of Troodontids. There's a few other dinosaurs as well, but they're just not... I didn't buy the DLCs for this game. You can get this game for free on the Epic Games Store, so that's how I got this. So I'm not going to buy any DLCs because I know Jurassic World Evolution 3 is coming out in the near future, so if that's a game that y'all are interested, let me know. Go ahead and join my Patreon and kind of just let me know there that you want to see Jurassic World Evolution 3, because if they don't change much, I'm not really feeling the need to get the game if it's not much different than this, because It's not as good as Prehistoric Kingdom in my opinion, so I'm not going to struggle to find inspiration in a game if I'm going to have to pay $60 when I have a $30 game that's in development and is improving constantly. Speaking of which, y'all should check out the dev diary for Prehistoric Kingdom. It's kind of crazy recently. So we're going to get our first animals here. We're kind of just figuring out species. I don't know why I looked at Dracorex. I don't think Dracorex has been found in the Hell Creek Formation. And that's when I noticed that, yeah, not... and I'm trying to figure out what species to go in here. And as for large predators, we only have Tyrannosaurus Rex that goes in this area. I was trying to figure out if I could filter it by location, but you can't, which is no end of frustration to me. Speaking of no end of frustration with me, these viewing domes. They're definitely a little bit frustrating that that's the only way that guests can see the dinosaurs, but you know, it is what it is. So I kind of create this area and I try and beautify it a little bit. But give me 1 second. Sorry, I had to make sure that my dogs weren't going to go barking on me. They've been bothering me. Also, apologies if my voice is off at all. The allergies in my area or the pollen in my area is really bad, so I'm having some pretty bad allergies recently. So I apologize for that, but we're going to create this rocky formation. I'll talk about the dinosaur that we're adding. So Pachycephalosaurus is a kind of hard-headed dinosaur found in Hell's Creek Formation. While this is very speculative biology on my part, I always kind of picture them in the more rocky areas. Hell Creek is a flood plain, but the thing about floodplains is there have to be sort of hills and mountains around them where sediment kind of washes down into. So my thought was, well, we'll make they fill a similar niche to goats or sheep, and so we're going to have kind of a rocky area here for them. Whether they actually did that, I don't know. I don't think so, but we do kind of the top of the floodplain here. You're going to see a lot of small hills is kind of the idea, or not small hills, but small water pools to kind of get that flood plain area. And I really like the way this habitat comes out. I've kind of said this in stream. It's really, really easy to make habitats look nice in this game, but to me they're just not as interesting maybe as I would want them to be. Like, there's just not as much individual pieces you can do to make them look interesting. Maybe I need to do more work on that. I had an idea to have a zipline go over the enclosure, but that's not going to work out. We'll have a zipline on the next one. The problem was, well, for one, I didn't know how the zipline worked, and I was like, oh yeah, you probably need it out. But it won't go over this exhibit area, so I really wanted it to go over this hill down the mountain. And I thought that would be really, really cool. But it does not work, so that's not how it's going to go. So I originally had the idea of these guys kind of having a hilled enclosure where they just run down, but I could have made it work. But in hindsight, I don't know if I would have had enough room for all the things I want to do down in this section. If I had put the Pachycephalus going down the hill. So here I was trying to make that work, and the enclosure didn't work for me. We're going to make this enclosure going down the hill, and I think it looks pretty good in the end. But yeah, I just was like, this is just too thin, it doesn't make sense. So we'll use the zipline for something else, or we'll delete it, but we will use it later. So here's gonna be me trying to find out how to make the dinosaurs. And I didn't modify the genomes whatsoever, so just base skin for the original ones. It was kind of, it's kind of sad to look back on it. So Stygimoloch's another species, similar to Pachycephalosaurus, that we're going to be including here. And here I was kind of putting modules in. I don't know why I had Dracorex, yeah. I was a little scatterbrained at the start. But yeah, we include Stygimoloch and Pachycephalosaurus because those are both species found in the Hill Creek Formation. So we're going to put those all in there, and then I'm going to realize, oh, the base skin, I want to customize them to what I want, so we'll get rid of those ones. But this was kind of me trying to figure out what I want to do with these species. We'll have some nice cinematic shots at the end. Stygimoloch is actually theorized that it might actually just be a juvenile form of the Pachycephalosaurus. So I wanted to include those so we could maybe even look like we had a juvenile group in the herd. Could be cool. Yeah, you're gonna see me tranquilize all these animals, and yeah. One thing about the game that I'd really like is a way to see the skins before you incubate. That was something that really frustrated me, because I often have an idea of what I want the dinosaur to look like, but the pattern that they show doesn't really give me an idea of what they're going to look like at the end of the game, or at the end of the reproduction. And that's when I figured Stygimoloch was actually the species that I wanted to do. So I started tranquilizing these guys, like, okay, this is a bad idea. And so I started selling them, and then we're going to modify the genome, and we're getting near the end. If you want to see more Jurassic World content, go ahead and like this video. It really will help. I know the streams did really well, but if the videos do well as well, it will definitely motivate me to play a bit more. Because I can create a pretty cool park with this, I think. But could I create as cool a park as I would want to? Not necessarily. So I would really like to see more changes made to this game, but the thing that's going to be the greatest factor of how much I play this is how much y'all enjoy it, for sure. So leave me a like and leave me a comment if you want to see more of this stuff. And if you want to see it, but you are bothered that I may not be enjoying it as much, don't worry. Y'all are my... I'll be playing other games, and y'all are my stakeholders. So if y'all want to see it, then I'm down for playing a game that I'm not 100% in love with, if y'all enjoy it. I think that's fair. So go ahead, if you enjoy it, I will play it. And I don't dislike the game. It's just a little simple to what I want. We're gonna get into our walkthrough area of the plaza and the animals in just a second. So go ahead and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and comment down below what's your favorite dinosaur from the Hell Creek Formation. It would really help with engagement, help out with the channel. And we'll be getting into the cinematic shots now, so I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.